I'm Mike Doudican, and I'm a social studies teacher at Glenpool High School, and I'm a master teacher for the OERB. Today's lesson is part 2 of a lesson entitled The Art of Social Studies, and is brought to you by the people of Oklahoma Oil and Natural Gas. And I'm so excited to bring this lesson to you all, because if you remember, part 1, we talked about this concept of personal geography, where we take a topic in social studies and we relate it to our lives. This helps to give us a deeper knowledge and understanding of the particular topic. Now today we're going to go from part 1 with personal geography to the part 2 in which we discuss and we create a children's book, or we create a comic book, and for those of you that like anime, you can make yours a manga. So let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to describe the topic that we're going to look at for overall today. It is going to be the origins of the Cold War. But before we do the origins of the Cold War, let's define what the Cold War is. So let us do this. If you would, get out your personal geography sheet for today. And on that personal geography sheet, it will say topic. Now on the topic, I want you to write down Cold War. So I will do that now. Now, what we're going to first do is we're going to create a working definition under the topic section of exactly what a Cold War is. Now, what we're going to look at for number 1 on here is we're going to say that the Cold War is a period of political tension. Now, for part 2, we need to figure out who it's between, what the tension is between. So, we know that it's the United States and the Soviet Union. So, our next step in looking at our definition is what would be a major result of the Cold War. And for us, what we're going to use for this definition is the fear that was produced between the two sides. Fear of basically atomic weapons, and later it's going to be hydrogen weapons. So we can just put down fear there. And then finally, number 4, we're going to describe the importance of the Cold War in that it ruled all international relations in the world from the 1940s to the 1980s. So let's write that down for number 4. Now, let's think of a topic that we can relate for ourselves with the Cold War. It would be something where you had tension between you and someone else. Someone didn't care for each other. Those types of things that we could relate to. Now, remember, this is something where we're basically looking at Cold War tension, a period where two sides didn't get along. Now, for me, whatever you select, as long as it shows tension, is something that we could do and something that we could look at. Now, for this, and let's just say for this particular topic, we'll take Oklahoma football, and we'll say OSU versus OU. So that would be our topic for ourselves. So let's do that now. Notice what I've done is I've taken the colored pens. Now, all of us can relate because we may or may not know someone that is an OU fan, or we may be an OU fan or an OSU fan. So we know that this is going on, that there's tension between the two. So what happens? What would we talk about? We may talk about national championships if we were OU. We might talk about, if we were OSU, the great football stadium that we have. We may talk about scoreboard, who won a particular game, those types of things. And then finally, if we were going to relate for our particular message in dealing with and relating it to the Cold War, we might talk about how we've always been an OU fan, or we've always been an OSU fan. So you could talk about being born into the rivalry. Now, the last part for personal geography that we're going to do and we're going to look at is this idea and this concept of creating a picture, creating some kind of a picture for this. So, for our topic, what we would do, we could say Cold War. You might be able to draw, like say, 2 refrigerators, and the refrigerators would maybe have the freezer door open. Because the key to this is you're relating the message. So, I could maybe write USSR on one side, and then I could write US on the other. Now, this is our Cold War picture, and there we could say that there's tension. We could even draw their faces where they're angry looking at each other. There you go. 2 mad refrigerators, doors open, Cold War. Now, for OU and OSU, you can do this however you would like. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go to part 2, Origins of the Cold War. So I'm going to write Origins of the Cold War under our topic for the page that is listed as our comic book, manga, or children's book. So what we're going to do is we are going to first look at our 4 topics that we are going to create for this. Our first topic is going to be 1945, the A-bomb. Then we are going to look at 1947, the Marshall Plan. Finally, number 3 is going to be the Berlin blockade in 1948, and then in 1949, the beginnings of NATO, and the USSR has their atomic bomb. So I'm going to put these up on the board, and then we're going to create and do the first one. I will give you the example, and then you are going to complete the last 3. So our first topic for today, and I'm going to do this one with you, is going to be in 1945, the United States ending World War II by dropping the atomic bomb in Japan. So on the left-hand side of the paper, we are going to come up with our 4 facts about the atomic bomb in 1945. And then on the right-hand square, we are going to draw something that would help us to signify that. So our number 1 thing is going to be writing down the topic, A-bomb. We will list the date, 1945. Now, we will list 2 facts about this particular event. Hiroshima and Nagasaki is where it was dropped. And for fact 2, it ends World War II. Our last bit of information that we're going to have is the bottom line. What's the bottom line of the 1945 A-bomb? This is what we're going to look at. It produces fear in the Soviet Union. Now, the reason it produces fear, and the reason I list this for our bottom line, is the bottom line is how does it relate to the origins of the Cold War? Now, on the right-hand side of the paper, you'll see that second square. You're going to create a drawing that would show the atom bomb. So, let's look at that. I created, this would be Japan, and this tree-looking thing should be a mushroom-looking cloud. The reason I drew this for you all is just to let you see, you're taking a step further, and your drawings are going to be better than mine. Some of yours may even be worse, but that doesn't matter. Do we understand the basic concepts of what's going on, of what the topic is about? All right, now here's your lesson for the day. You're going to look up information on the Marshall Plan. You're going to look up information on the Berlin blockade. You're going to look up information on the origin of NATO and the Soviet Union gaining their first atom bomb, as how it relates to the origins of the Cold War. This is your challenge or call to action. As you're doing this assignment, we simply ask this: take a picture of yourself and email it to teachers@oerb.com and post it on Facebook or Instagram and tag us at OERB OK. You'll be eligible for prizes for this. And thank you so much for taking time and going over this lesson with me. Hope you all have a great day.